So I've had a few requests asking me about the details of what my setup is. So I thought I'll make a quick video just to run through everything that I'm running. So obviously the main center stage of my setup is the LG C9. I have the 65-inch model. Below that I have the LG SL10 YG. This is the top of the range model for 2019, the soundbar. It's a 5.1.2 setup on its own. So it's got a dedicated center channel, it's got a left and a right, it's got side firing speakers on each side, and then it's got the two Dolby Atmos ones. I also have a subwoofer. I believe it's a 7-inch sub. It's a ported design that comes with this, and it links up wirelessly. All you have to do is plug in the power cable. Now, when I was looking at this, I was debating between the LG and the Samsung at the time, because the Samsung actually came as I believe it's a 7.1.4 setup. But the thing that put me off the Samsung was the lack of Dolby Vision pass-through. And that's a complete no-no for me, because most of the stuff that I use does involve Dolby Vision through Netflix, Apple TV Plus, and the rest of it. So that's the main two parts. Alongside the soundbar, I did also purchase the rear speaker kit. This comes with a separate wireless receiver that links up. It's probably Bluetooth or some form of connection like that. As long as it's within range, it'll connect wirelessly. And then off that, so that receives one power cable, and off that you get two speaker cables coming in for your left and your right. Now the rear surround speakers that I got, it is recommended to have them at ear level as opposed to being height mounted. So as a result of that, it means that you end up with a 7.1 point as opposed to a 7.1.4 as you do with the Samsung, and also the newer SN11RG for this year, the 2020 model, I believe. Ideally, I would want the 7.1.4, because what I have noticed is, whilst I do get quite a lot of height sound coming from the soundbar, it is quite good in rainfall, helicopters, explosions, that kind of stuff. It is mainly from the front of the room. You don't get much from the rear in terms of height. So obviously it's carrying to around the middle to 2/3 of the room, but you don't really get much height at the back of the room. Now, the good thing is, obviously, when I'm watching movies and stuff, I always have the sofa at the back of the room pulled forward, just to give a bit of separation between the rear speakers and where you're sat. So it means that it roughly works out just above you, but ideally 7.1.4 would be better. Hooked up to all of this is the PS4 Pro, mainly used by my son. I did the odd gaming when we first got it, but I'm not really much of a console gamer. I used to be a PC gamer back in the day, but work and life and the rest of it kind of took over, so I don't really do much gaming. Below that, just there, you've got the Apple TV 4K. This is the main device that I actually use with the TV, and I use it for everything from Netflix, Apple TV Plus. I did have Apple Arcade for a little while, but kids weren't really interested in that. Next to it, in the little cupboard, normally I have this closed. I've got my Virgin Media modem. It is a router, but as I've got the Orbi system, I use this in modem mode, so it goes straight into this, and I have two additional wireless routers, so to speak, and so I've got one in this room, I've got one in my living room, and I've also got one upstairs. Main reason I went for the Orbi system was because of the amount of Ethernet ports you get. So at the moment I have the Apple TV wired, and I also have my Synology NAS drive, and that's actually got a dual connection, so it's 2 gigabit connection, so it's got 2 gigabit ports on the back of it. So that's using 2 of them, that's using the third one. On the main one, you only get 3 outputs, whereas on the other 2, you actually get 4 outputs, I believe. So in my other rooms, I've actually got my TV as well as the Apple TV in my other room wired up with an Ethernet connection, and then upstairs in my bedroom I've got my PC wide hardwired, as well as one of my security cameras, I believe. So that's the general gist of what I've got set up here.